Team Usyk are prepared to stand firm on mandatory status in lieu of Fury Joshua talks. So they've dug their heels in. They're saying that they're not going to step aside, that they want their WBO shot against Anthony Joshua next. After Joshua gets past Pulev, they want next. So this could be another potential roadblock in the way of the undisputed fight. Normally, money solves all these problems. If you throw enough money at the problem, it will go away. So it's up to the likes of, I guess, Eddie Hearn, really. You can't say Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, and Frank Warren, because Usyk is a matchroom fighter. He's a DAZN fighter. So it's up to Eddie Hearn and DAZN to throw enough money at Oleksandr Usyk to tell him, you know what, or to convince him to just chill for a minute and allow this undisputed fight to happen. Now, I was watching a Dwyer video earlier on today, and he was talking about how this undisputed fight is convenient for AJ and Fury, partly because they both get to defer a potential showdown against Oleksandr Usyk. He believes that Usyk is a very dangerous fighter in the heavyweight division, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dwyer believes that Usyk is the biggest threat to Tyson Fury. A lot of people believe that, actually, that Usyk's the biggest threat to Fury, including myself. I think that AJ and Usyk are the biggest threats to Tyson Fury. That's my personal opinion. And yeah, Usyk digging his heels in, wants his shot sooner rather than later. Maybe Usyk feels as though AJ is an easier fight than Fury. He might have said the opposite in the press, but what people say in the press and what they think privately are sometimes two different things, very often two different things. So perhaps he's thinking that AJ's more vulnerable, so let me go for AJ first. And if I can beat AJ, it puts me in a great position at the negotiating table to have the undisputed fight against Fury. So you can see, why Usyk might want to dig his heels in, or maybe he's just looking for more money, or maybe both. Maybe he's like, yeah, I really want the AJ fight before the Fury fight, but if they throw enough money at me, I'll step aside. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Oleksandr Usyk. How do you think he would fare against AJ or Fury? I know there's still a lot of people with a lot of doubts about Usyk at heavyweight because of how he looked against Chaz Witherspoon. Now, I had doubts about Usyk when he was still at cruiserweight about how effective he could be at heavyweight, but I've changed my mind on that a little bit. And that's despite the fact that he didn't look $1 million against Chad Witherspoon. But Chad Witherspoon is a much smaller heavyweight than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And you shouldn't underestimate how much of a difference that can make in terms of how effective Usyk's movement is, and the difference in speed and coordination between somebody like Usyk and a much bigger man. As I said in a roundtable I did, what was it, a week or so ago? I think nearly 2 weeks now. You won't realize how well coordinated Usyk is and how fast he is compared to these big heavyweights until he gets in the ring with one of these big heavyweights. Not a smaller heavyweight like Chad Witherspoon, but a Fury, a Wilder, a Joshua. I know Wilder is not big in terms of mass, but he's tall and rangy. And he's the least coordinated out of the three biggest guys, AJ, Fury, and Wilder. Wilder's the least coordinated. So, yeah, you won't realize how good Oleksandr Usyk is and how fast he is on his feet and how effective he is at moving in and out, messing with the range and making it difficult for big heavyweights to get their shots off and land with power. You won't realize until you see him in the ring with him. To get some, little hint of a clue in terms of what he's like in there against the big heavyweight, go and have a look at his performances in the World Series of Boxing. Go and have a look at those. And I'm not talking about the World Boxing Super Series. I'm talking about the World Series of Boxing, two different things. The World Series of Boxing is like a semi-amateur league tournament type situation. Go and have a look at his performances in that, because he fought some big men there, including Joe Joyce. He lit Joe Joyce up like a Christmas tree. I know the likes of AJ and Wilder and Fury are very different to Joyce, but still, there are other fighters he fought in there as well. And look at the speed difference. Look at the balance and the coordination difference between him and a giant heavyweight. So I think he's going to be very... I'm not saying that Usyk is going to dominate the division. Not at all. But I think that Usyk is going to be at least one of the big heavyweights out there. AJ, Fury, Wilder, etc. I think he's going to be at least one of them. Could be wrong, but that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this whole situation. It's Ham and I'm out.